I love this analogy. Data is the new oil. An oil refinery has been the symbol of the extraction and refining of power for decades. Like modern-day cathedrals, an oil refinery in any country is a symbol of significance and standing. In fact, what an oil refinery actually extracts from the ground is power. Power at so many different levels, literally and symbolically. This power, this nebulous substance, is first pumped out of hidden, seemingly hard-to-reach resources. And it endows vast wealth when it's used wisely. Wealth at a level that propels organizations and countries to stratospheric levels of status. Now think of data centers as the new oil refineries. Contrastingly, they're not as conspicuous in their presence. They offer a less obvious and ostentatious spectacle as an oil refinery. They're more windowless sort of grey buildings that they boast no height or ornament, but they are nonetheless impressive in their scale. They stretch into infinity in their sprawl. And these new refineries, they also deal with a substance that is really just as valuable as oil. It too seems to be just as hard to understand and nebulous and hidden. It too is pumped out from mysterious channels. And it also needs to be refined and distilled before the intrinsic magic of its essence can be fully realized. The vital, valuable commodity in this case is, of course, data. And data is a bizarrely sort of diaphanous concept for you and I, or average everyday people to grasp. But for those in the know, data has the power to propel the controlling company to stratospheric levels of status. In fact, the key main difference I can see between the two commodities, oil and data, is that for the time being, data is not being systematically traded in the world's numerous financial exchanges. There isn't a per barrel price for data as such at the moment. And just like in the oil industry, there's one more thing. All those big players in this area are battling it out to secure the most bountiful reserves as fast as possible, and then extract and monetize from the results in the most innovative ways possible. Facebook and Google are not simply applications. They are planet-encompassing platforms, extracting and churning through the zettabytes of data produced by their users. Microsoft or Apple might be amongst the world's largest companies by market cap, but we undoubtedly live in an Amazon world. If it isn't already, it probably will become the world's largest company. There is no other company that has so rapidly become so influential in touching our lives at every level, from online shopping to film production to food delivery. More and more of us are turning to Alexa for everything from showing me who's at the front door to describing to your daughter the history of Stonehenge to reordering the same cat food as we had last month. And worryingly, the more we interact with the device, the more data is gathered about us. The more users that hit the like button on a Facebook post or otherwise engage with Facebook, for example, the more it learns about those users and the better targeted the ads on their own news feeds become. Similarly, the more people that search on Google, the better its own search capabilities become. That simile with the oil industry continues, because it isn't just the primary substance that is useful. In the data economy, we too can make use of the residual stuff left over after refinement. I'll explain what I mean. With the petrochemical industry, after we refine off the all-important primary gasoline for fuel, well, there is all that stuff left over. And there is an entire plastics and polymer industry that makes use of that stuff left over. And so it is with big data. Facebook of course, collects detailed levels of information about its users from their actual content shared. During this activity, the users of Facebook, however, also carry out another activity. And they, in doing so, become a hive of unwitting, unpaid workers for the Facebook organization. So, for instance, each time you upload and tag pictures of your friends or their cats, Brighton Pier, or a pair of Christian Louboutin shoes, you are teaching computers to more accurately recognize hundreds of millions of items and people. In you, Facebook is harnessing an army of unpaid users to train and perfect some of its own internal algorithms. Now, in the same way, digital butlers such as Google Home or Amazon's Alexa, they get progressively better and better at performing tasks and answering questions the more they are used. As a result, we ourselves have created that secondary level industry within data. In correcting the devices around us, we are also participating in the biggest machine learning project the world has ever seen. Because as we tutor the IT systems such as Alexa in our lives, we are contributing to programming and code that will eventually become the core of the program within AI brains of the future. There it is. That is the essence of big data. To collect vast amounts of data which can be looked at by humans, but then ultimately fed into machine learning systems that can then be used to create algorithms that can train further machine learning systems for solving real-world problems and, of course, for commercial gain as well.